rational expressions. Now we've done a decent amount of stuff with multiplying rational expressions. So now we're going to divide. The big difference with dividing is all we're going to do is we're going to flip the second one and then multiply, just like we did before. So the only thing we're adding to it is the flip. So 3 over 8v divided by 5, 9v, becomes times 9v over 5. See how I just flipped the second one over? We're paying attention, right, since I'm teaching new stuff that you haven't seen before. Okay? Because when we divide fractions, we flip the second one and multiply straight across. That's the same thing. So we know the v's cancel out, right? Okay? So 3 times 9 is 27. 8 times 5 is 40, so that's my answer. 27 over 40.
Oh, that's it?
Yep.
Is that literally what you do for all?
Yep. So let's go to number 3. Let's go to number 3. Okay, I'm going to ask you guys one more time. Shh. The talking needs to end, and the phones need to be put down. I want you to concentrate on this. Okay. So, as we go on with this, I want you guys to... I don't feel like I have enough room here, so I'm going to do this on a separate sheet of paper. So I've got x minus 9 over x minus 3 times x plus 3. And then remember, I am going to multiply, so I'm going to flip these. So I'm going to have 5x squared on top times x plus 3 over x minus 9. Okay? Once I have flipped the second one, everything is factored all the way, so now I'm going to cancel things out. X minus 9 cancels out. Thank you. X plus 3 cancels out. And I'm left with 5x squared over x minus 3. So that's the answer for number 3. Yes? Yep. If something's on top and something's on the bottom, you can cancel it. If they're both on the top, you can't. Okay. So far, so good? Let's move to number 5. So what's the first step when we're dividing rational functions, guys? We're going to flip. So we have r squared plus 2r minus 63 over r minus 10 times r minus 10's on top over r squared minus 11r plus 28. Now we should do it exactly how we did multiplying, where I'm going to factor the equation. So I know this is going to be r squared and negative 63. So I know I have r and r. Shh. 63, two things that multiply to give me 63 is 9 and 7. And we're going to make 7 negative so that when I go negative 7r plus 9r, I know I get a positive 2r. Yes, Jalen?
This paper that you got, is it on homework?
No, which I did say at the beginning. Okay, so this is r minus 7, r plus 9, and we have it over r minus 10. Now I'm going to go over here, this r minus 10 on top, I can't take anything out of r and 10. But r squared minus 11r plus 28, that can be factored. I've got r squared. Two numbers that give me 28. So 28, I've got, what, 7 and 4? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that would work if I have 7 and 4 and they're both negative. Negative 7r and negative 4r makes 11. Negative 11r. So again, that's r minus 4, r minus 7. So now that everything is factored out, I can cancel things. These r minus 10s cancel. R minus 7 cancels, and I'm left with r plus 9 over r minus 4. That's it. Questions about this? Let's try another one, guys. I want to just practice quite a few of these with you before I let you try this on your own, just so you feel uncomfortable. So I'm going to try to do the odds here on this paper. I will make sure to give you some time in class to work, though. So for number 7, I've got 10a minus 20 over 10 times 10 over a squared plus 7a minus 18. Okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is pull a 10 out of here. Jalen and Jordan, focus. So I'm going to pull out a 10. So I'm left with a minus 2 over 10 times 10's on top. So I need to factor this. I've got 8 squared. What two numbers multiply to give me negative 18, where I could add them up to give me 7a? So if I go 9 and negative 2, I get negative 2a plus 9a gives me 7a. So that's a plus 9, a minus 2. Okay, everything's factored, correct? So now I cancel. I can get rid of a minus 2's. I can get rid of my 10's, and I'm just going to be left with 10 over a plus 9. Okay. Why don't you guys try number 9 on your own? Why don't I give you guys a minute and you try number 9 on your own? Yeah? Yeah, except you change that division sign to a multiply. Otherwise, you're good. And then you, because when we flip it, we're just multiplying.
Do you multiply across?
Yep.
So it'll be 9p.
So, but now you've got to see, can you take out a 9 out of here? Okay. So, see how this has 9p and this has 18? You can take out a 9 and you're just left with p. And 9 times what gives you 18? 2. So now these 9s can cancel. And you're just left with p minus 4 over p plus 2. See how that works? So when they have a number that you can take out of both of them, you pull it out on the outside. It's like reverse FOIL or reverse distribution. Remember this? We did those arrows. It's like reverse of that. So I pull out a 9, and I'm left with p plus 2, and I do that because those 9s can cancel. Because 9 divided by 9 is 1, so they can go away. Okay? Let's do it. It's set, they forget every single time to change it from early release day. All right, guys, let's do number 9. So first thing we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is we flip it. Okay? And then we're going to factor. So 2 and 10. Is there a number 2 and 10 that goes into both 2 and 10 that I can take out?
5.
Try again. 2. Okay, so I'm left with m plus 5. All right? For m 2m squared and 20m squared. I can pull out a 4m, right? And I'm left with m plus 5 over 7m squared. 5m plus 5 can cancel. 4 and 2 can be reduced to 2. So I'm left with 2m over 7m squared. Oh, they both have m's. I can cancel one of those and I get 2 over 7m. Two over 7m. All right, guys, let's do one more. Let's do one more because they're getting a little complicated. Do you guys want to do 11 or 13? 13? Okay, let's do 13. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite it, but I'm going to flip that second one. So I have 6a squared minus 17a minus 10 on top, and 14a squared plus 13a plus 3 on the bottom. Okay? First thing I'm going to do is look at the top, 14 and 6. I know I can take a 2 out of there. So I get 2, 7a plus 3. The bottom, I know I can take out, I can take out a 2a. And I'm left with 3a minus 10. Okay, now these two I'm going to have to factor. So my top one, I've got 6a squared and I've got negative 10. Two numbers that multiply to give me 6a squared, I could have 3 and 2 or 6 and 1. Okay? And I'm going to have to times something so that I end up with 17 as my answer. So I know one's going to be negative and one's going to be positive. So for 10, I know I can have 1 and 10, or I can have 2 and 5. Okay? So I know 2 times 6 is 12, plus 5 gives me 17. So I know I want to use these. Okay? So I'm going to use 6 and 1, and I want to times the 6 times 2. And I want to times the 1 times 5. Okay? So I want to know, one of them is going to have to be positive and one's going to have to be negative. So let's do negative 5 and positive 2. So I get 12a and negative 5a. Okay. So I've got, oh, but that's not going to work, right? Because then that wouldn't add up to be negative 17. So what would give us negative 17? We probably want to use, if I used 1 and 10 and 3 and 2, 20 minus 3 is 17. So I want 3 and 2, and this to be 10, and this to be 1. There we go. Now I'll get it. So I've got 2a plus 1 and 3a minus 10. And then on the bottom, please stop talking while I'm talking. I get 14a squared and 3. So I know 3, the only options are 1 and 3. So with 14, I know I can have 1 and 14, or I can have 7 and 2. Which ones are going to add up to give me 13? Okay? 7 times 3 is 21. If I subtracted 21 minus 2, I get 19, and I don't want that, I want 13. So let's try 2 times 3 is 6, and 6 plus 7 is 13. So I get 7a and I get 6a, and that adds up to 13. Okay, so that's 7a plus 3 and 2a plus 1. Now I can get to the point where I can cancel. I'm going to cancel out 7a plus 3. I'm going to cancel 3a minus 10. I'm going to cancel 2a plus 1. And I'm left with 1 over 2a as my final answer for number 13. Okay? We are going to do the evens as notes tomorrow. We're going to do the evens as notes tomorrow. Can I pass these out? Your homework is going to be these 12 problems that we're passing out to you right now for practice for tonight, so I would get started.